The next thing that we talked about was the actual transaction. What does a transaction look like from the first gen to the second? And there's so many variables. And so great examples of, firms that have had smooth transactions or haven't, and then talking around the table about how their individual transactions were going. So,
we spent some time just talking about, don't take the shortcuts, right? I mean, family business, it's easy to take shortcuts. I'm the father and it's my son, or we're siblings. And, we're talking about a transaction that for some is maybe their largest transaction they do in their lifetime. And so, not overcomplicating things, but make sure you understand such things as the tax consequences, right? There's taxes to every transaction. If you're lending money or borrowing money, make sure you document it appropriately. Not so much between the father and the son, for example, but third parties may become beneficiaries of these things, or may be involved if you sell the business.
Correct.
Or the business fails, or God forbid, the lender, the dad dies, and now somebody's got to pick up that legal obligation. So, being mindful of, not shortcutting the transaction and documenting it appropriately.
we also talked about ensuring that there's legal representation, accounting representation on both sides. So not just the first generation and the family lawyer, but also setting aside potentially a lawyer and accountant who will also be looking at how that affects the second generation, so that both generations feel like their needs have been met in a great way to establish a smooth transition going forward.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it may not always be an adversarial negotiation, but you need to understand what rights you have, what burdens you're taking on, how it implicates the business, how it implicates or involves your family. You should also keep your spouse involved, or your greater family members involved in this, so that they understand what's going on.